Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday evening. We're so happy to have you with us. I'm Tracy Flintoff, and I'm coming to you from the Pacific Northwest. And we were just talking about the beautiful sunshine outside today, which is a rarity at this time of year for us. And doesn't the sun make us all feel so much better? And we're going to talk a whole lot more about the power of light tonight. So we're glad you're here, and I promise your future self is going to thank you for being here too. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so that I can share some pretty amazing stuff with you. So we have a special presentation tonight. On Tuesday nights, we do our intro on the technology, the phototherapy patches. And then we're going to do something different. We're going to stop the recording, answer some questions, and then we're going to start the recording again for those who would like to stay for the deep dive. And it's a good one. I put it together today, and it is looking at the combination of X39 and X49 to help overcome some very common age decline issues that we fight, endure, live with, and hopefully win the battle with. And this tool we're talking about tonight is exactly that, because we're talking about the use of phototherapy, light, making change in the body, and we're looking at the cells, our powerhouses of our body. So we're going to talk about how to increase energy and focus and just make life better, happier, more fun. And we're quickly going to revisit yesteryear, a couple real smart guys in science and technology, um, Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison, and they were ahead of their time. And the technology we're talking about tonight goes back to that era. And what we're talking about is actually looking at the future of medicine is not just about treating illness. We're going to have a new spin on it. And what we're talking about is unlocking the body's innate ability to heal itself. And it's pretty revolutionary. And it's certainly changed our lives. And we just feel so passionate about it. We love to help share with other people. But before we get started, I just want to give a disclaimer that what we're talking about is a holistic wellness product in the FDA categories. And I'm not a medical professional. I won't be diagnosing or treating any medical conditions tonight. And you'd always want to consult with your doctor if you have any specific issues or ailments. The information we're sharing is anecdotal and it's for your informational purposes. But I hope you find it of interest. But what we're talking about is light therapy. And you see a lot of this in modern day technology. You know, the original light therapy goes back to the days of the sunshine, talking about photosynthesis, growing plants, and sunshine hitting the skin and telling the body to make vitamin D. That is the original light therapy. Then there's the light therapy that when a jaundiced baby has that yellow tint because that liver's not yet turned on. That's another evolution of light, making change in the body, right? Red light therapy, you see here in a wand, lasers, infrared saunas, MRIs, variety of different modalities using the power of light to make change in the body. And we all really battle with one central problem in our lifetime. And the reality is that the older we get, the faster we age and the slower we heal. And that's really just due to Mother Nature's natural decline in the body's repair mechanism, and that is called stem cells. And when that newborn baby is in utero, that baby is full of stem cells. It's one stem cell that has that blueprint of that baby's future body. And that stem cell divides time and again to create that baby's body. But when we're kids, we're starting to lose them. We're still very active and we are able to rebound quickly. You know, we fall down and scrape our knee and it heals right away. We get a bump and a bruise and it's gone overnight and we don't think anything about it. But when we're in our age around 30, we've lost about half of those stem cells. By age 60, we have only a small percentage of our stem cells still remaining. But what we're talking about is the best kept secret on this planet, at least in this country, I'll say, is an affordable way to change the trajectory of aging on your body. So if I could show you an affordable, non-invasive way to make change in the body. Would you be interested? And what we're talking about tonight is a wearable light technology. It's called X39, and it is patented. This is the only company in the entire world that has this technology, but it's designed to elevate, activate, and regenerate your body. And I have a quick video here.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. For us, it all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we're made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave's phototherapy patches use light to stimulate the body's natural healing systems, providing specific health benefits. Here's how the technology works. First, a patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, infrared light emitted from the body is reflected back into the tissue. This stimulates the skin, which in turn stimulates specific regions of the brain. The brain then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy and the ability to heal itself. Let's take a look at why this is important on a cellular level. For example, a number of our patch products help counteract free radicals, oxygen molecules that damage cell proteins and contribute to visible signs of aging. When the body is stimulated through phototherapy to release its own antioxidants, these free radicals are neutralized naturally. LifeWave phototherapy patches promote an environment that enables the body to optimize its restorative powers and provide specific health benefits, all without the use of harmful drugs or chemicals, all helping you to stay healthy and young. To find out more, contact your distributor or visit lifewave.com. LifeWave. Live long, live well.
So, what we're talking about is that patented cellular activation patch, and it's raising a peptide in your body called GHK copper peptide. You might remember back in the 1970s, people started wearing copper bracelets because they were very healing and very fountain of youth oriented. But this patch does one better than wearing that bracelet. It actually brings back your own GHK copper peptide, and it is body heat activated. And we're reflecting, like the video said, our own low-level infrared light at different angles to make different biochemical changes in the body. We wear these for 12 hours on to activate and repair, and then we wear them for 12 hours off to give the body rest and regeneration time. So we're really mimicking day and night, 12 hours of light, 12 hours of dark, same thing in the body. And we repeat this daily, and we drink a lot of water. Our bodies are 70–80% water, and we need water to create new cells. But this product was originally developed 20 years ago for the United States Navy SEALs down in San Diego. And they were kicking out a record number of SEALs because they were pushing their bodies, and they were experiencing depression after being on a dark submarine and just not having the energy, the endurance, and the recovery that they did at one point in their life. And so they were turning to stimulants and unfortunately amphetamines. Then when they are discovered, the Navy is required to kick them out. And they were spending a lot of money on these SEALs, and that was a waste. So David Schmidt, the owner inventor of this company, was contracted to help come up with this product for them. And it took him 3 years. And after he did, he decided to allow it to also be available to athletes. Michael Phelps was the first athlete to put this company on the map when he won all those medals in Beijing. He was wearing these. You might remember some controversy. People thought he was doping because he was too good. He was beating everyone. No one's had those speed times like him. But Serena and Venus Williams started wearing them on their wrists. We know their story. David Beckham, Tom Brady, the list just goes on and on. In 2019, though, history was made when David Schmidt invented the X39 patch, and that's the one we're going to talk about a lot tonight. And for the first time ever, the body had the ability to regenerate those repair cells that have been dormant in the body. And thankfully, it's like a light bulb. They just burn out. They do not leave the body. So we just have to give them what they need to bring them back. And that turns out to be light. But when we activate our own repair cells, we see amazing things like rapid pain relief and energy, vitality, mental clarity. The skin, you're going to see some pictures in a little bit. Pretty amazing to see what happens with skin. Reduction, excuse me, of inflammation, wound healing, all sorts of great things. The best part, though, is no chemicals, no drugs, no stimulants. You don't have to then worry about drug interactions. We don't have to ask, what medications might you be on? Because it really has no matter to this product. There's no side effects. And again, this is a private company and holding over 100 US patents on age reversal. Pretty amazing stuff. Then this company is just getting started, just scratching the surface, and it's pretty exciting to see where they're heading. But this is our friend Marcy, and none of us would be here without her. Quite honestly, Marcy would no longer be here if it weren't for the patches and what they did for her. She was dealing with fast-growing cells of the breast, the lymph, and a very aggressive one in the skin that never goes into remission. Well, guess what? It's in remission along with all of the others. And she's 5 years in now. But when these came to her, she was living in a lazy boy recliner, waiting for the end of her days when her naturopath gave her the X39. She started detoxifying the chemo metals out the mouth, out her back. And day 10, she just had the will to live. And she told her friend, we have to tell everyone in the world, I feel fantastic. I think I'm going to beat this. And lo and behold, she has. And her mission in life is really to educate as many as she can on the power of this amazing product. And she has created a website for us called startx39now.com. It is a fantastic one if you'd like to share that with a friend or take some time and really learn and understand the power of what a little patch can do. These are a number of doctors here that share their testimonials. You've got cardiologists, esthetician, acupuncture doctor, naturopaths, chiropractors. They are great to learn from. If you keep scrolling down that page, you're going to come to the science community section, my personal favorite. I've highlighted the age reversal with GHK copper peptide because that is the holy grail of our body. And it has the ability to repair so many things. There's also 100 patents on here you can read. There's over 90 clinical trials. These trials were done by independent labs all over the world. So they're the real McCoy. They are real stuff, validated in peer review studies. And just to give you an idea of a couple of these studies they did one on the cardiovascular system, and they looked at 6 weeks of these folks wearing X39, and those participants lowered their cardiovascular age on average about 8 weeks. And for every day that you're wearing that patch, the cardiovascular system is reversing the age by about a day and a third younger for every day that they wear the patch. That is quite remarkable. And the heart, hugely important. The brain, maybe even slightly more important. I don't know. That would be a toss-up, right? These are the two most critical. And of course, those are the first tests they did and studies. So looking at brain health, they were looking to decrease inflammation because you see in session 1 here, this lady is 77-year-old lady with dementia. The orange and the red in session 1 is her baseline before she started wearing patches. Where you see orange and red is heat or inflammation. That is putting swelling in that brain and slowing down the blood flow. And that is a lot of her problem of why her cognition is not as sharp as it used to be. But in session 2, that is the first check-in after wearing X39 for 3 weeks. And look at that hot brain is now a cold brain. It's not a perfectly balanced brain yet, but the body's working on it. The body is very, very intelligently designed and able to repair itself. So by the time we get to session 3, that is the culmination of this study. It's 6 weeks in total. Look at that beautiful, perfectly balanced brain, 80% brain matter on one side, 20 on the other. This has a brain with improved memory and focus, the cognitive function greatly improved, and increasing that GHK copper peptide supports the cells and the nerve regeneration. So pretty incredible. In 6 weeks, the brain is capable of rewiring itself. And we start hearing people saying, gee, I can remember things. I sleep better. Aha, sleep comes from the brain. And there's the X39 alone does a lot for people's sleep. And for, I'd say, the vast majority of people, 70–80%, that's enough to get them sleeping better. But if you have a more stubborn sleep cycle that we have to help you break through, like I did when I started on these, oh, I didn't sleep well at all because I was in that change of life cycle with hot flashes. I had to add the Alavita, and that was activating my own hormone balancing, bringing back my own melatonin. I also added silent nights because I was desperate and I didn't know that there was something on the market besides melatonin that I had just then learned really was not good for the blood-brain barrier, and it can set you up for cognitive decline later in life. So who wants that? Yeah, you can have sleep, but at the cost of your future brain. No, thank you. But this natural combination right here got me sleeping. It probably took me a good 90 days or so before I was consistently sleeping deep and dreaming. But I dream Academy Award winning dreams, I always say. Just beautiful. And with this company, because it is a unique product, the FDA does not allow them to advertise in the conventional sense. So there's certain words I have to be careful that I can't say, different things for compliance, but I can show you pictures. And I think a picture's worth 1,000 words anyway. You don't want to hear me talk, but let's look at these people. Snowboard accident, 5 days later, wound recovery accelerated. Open heart surgery. That image on the left is right after the surgery. The middle image is after 1 year of Mother Nature's healing works, which, gee, it's greatly improved, right? But look at adding X39 just for 1 month, how that scar has remodeled. The collagen has filled in, and it has done some recontouring to make the skin even more beautiful. So what we're talking about with the patches is not anti-aging, which is what we usually hear about in the media or in marketing, skincare, hair care. It's always anti-aging, but that would be basically stopping where you are, maybe not getting older. Yeah, that's good. But why not go backwards? Let's get better, not just stay. So here is our friend, Dr. Harmon, and he is Grandpa Dude in the left image. And this is before he used the patches. That's his baseline. But look at him after 14 months. He becomes a hot dude. Look at that skin, totally flattened out, smoothed out, supple, hydrated, beautiful. That hair color, his natural hair color came back. He didn't believe his nurses. He thought they were teasing him. They kept saying, John, your hair's turning brown in the back. And, oh, yeah, whatever. But yeah, it did. And then this lady here, she's from Australia. And look at her, day one, she looks like grandma. Day 355, I'd say, maybe looking like her daughter. And now she looks like her granddaughter. I mean, just beautiful. Look at her eyes, vibrant, thicker lips, thicker hair. That's a happy lady. Skin repair. We have collagen and hyaluronic acid coming back. And that's that tightening of the décolleté or the turkey neck, some people refer to that. The filling in of varicose veins. Of course, the veins are still there. We're just bringing back that nice insulating cushion called collagen, so the veins aren't so unsightly. And look at this beautiful remodeling of that birthmark. Change that pigmentation entirely. And this guy's got to have a whole different dating life, I always say. But we like to think this is better than Botox. And it's the body making its own change and taking it back and regenerating tissues, skin, filling things in. Look at this sun-damaged décolleté. This lady lives in California, wanted to get married in a strapless wedding gown, and her friend gave her patches with the day cream and the night cream. And look at that. She got to wear her dress, and I'm sure she was a beautiful bride. You can even do a combination of patches and do a facelift without needles and sutures. And who wouldn't want to skip all that, right? This can help your body also balance your hormones. This young lady here with hormonal cystic acne, which I lived with until about age 56 when these patches came to me. I no longer have any of those little uh-oh breakouts, but that was 6 weeks for her. This gentleman here, 5 weeks later for her hair, so that collagen fills in the hair follicles, helping to balance autoimmune conditions. And there are a number of them, but a lot of them we can't see. We don't know what Hashimoto's looks like and, fibromyalgia and different things, but I can show you these and show you what it can do to an autoimmune skin-based condition. So vitiligo, look at the difference in these two gentlemen here. Just such a different change. And then this fellow here is a friend of Cami, and he had fast-growing cells of the skin. He'd had, I believe, 20 procedures in 15 years, or vice versa. Still, it's a lot. 2 months after wearing these patches, look at how that finally healed up. But these things would never heal for him. They just would get worse and worse and worse. And they were painful and they were very unsightly. But look at that. It's just glowing and very happy. And then this lady, she had radiation on her face. I imagine she might have had some fast growing cells as well. And look at this. A friend gave her the patches in 3 weeks' time. Look at how beautiful that skin is. I know she feels better. But the patches are not just for people. They can be for our fur babies too, which I love. They started using these on racehorses, very expensive racehorses. The horse trainers put their own patches on these horses, and they started noticing that, gee, a torn ligament could come back and, you know, um, all sorts of conditions. And then they started putting them on dogs and cats. And the dog over here on the left is my friend Terry's dog, Brutus, and he had gone blind from diabetes. I did not realize that. But you can see that picture on the left side there is no cataract or cataracts, no pupil, excuse me. And 1 week later, look at those beautiful brown eyes with a black pupil. That dog got his vision back and started following my friend around her house. Pretty fantastic. But this is my favorite part of the night. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to ask my mom, Sherry, to unmute herself. And I want her to share her story with you because my mom had had a lot of health issues over the years, and they were getting more and more numerous and scarier and scarier. And I am so thankful to say that because of these patches, I not only have my mom with us still, I have my mom getting better and better and reversing her own age with time here. And she's had some pretty remarkable things happen. So, Mom, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, great. Can you hear me?
We hear you great.
Okay. Well, it was 3 years ago, I believe, that Tracy discovered these patches because of a gentleman that's in the room tonight, Bruce. Hello, Bruce. Thank you again for dropping off the patches for my son-in-law's pain. That's where it began for us, right, Tracy?
You are sure right. It was Bruce, and we didn't believe him. Eric and I rolled our eyes and thought stem cells in these patches. Yeah, right. You're crazy. He got the last laugh, and we got the better health, thankfully.
So, shortly after, about a month after starting to wear the patches, I had a mammogram and they found cancer in my left breast. So, they did a little surgery, took that away. They asked me if they said, you can decide if you want to have any further treatment. It was going to be, oh, help me, Tracy. And I said, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't want it. Don't do any more damage. And so that has crossed my fingers. I haven't had any problems with that reoccurring. And my lungs have improved because I was having to use the PAP machine. And I always laugh at that commercial of those men sitting around in the circle with their PAP machine on it. I mean, it's not quite that bad, but it's not pleasant. And my pulmonologist said, well, you got to have another sleep test if you think you don't need it anymore. I said, oh, gladly do that. There was a miracle opening. A week later, I got in for a sleep test, and voila, my lungs had repaired themselves from the patches, and then I didn't need to use my machine anymore. So if you know anyone who wants to buy one real reasonable, I've got that and the So Clean cleaner in my closet and not on my face. Thank God. Thank the patches. And I've always had, when I had my colonoscopies, there was always suspicious polyps, and they had to send away to find out if they were clean polyps or if there was cancer in them. Well, I was fortunate. There was no cancer in them, but you got to keep doing that every year. So the last time I had a colonoscopy about 3 years ago, they didn't even have to send, there was no polyps to be suspicious about. So that was quite amazing. And when the doctor told me that, I thought, oh, this is telling me something externally is working to improve my body. So that is another condition I could cross out. And my left knee has been replaced with a titanium knee. And it's not all roses when you get a knee replacement, because it's still yesterday. It really hurt. But my right knee also was bone on bone and needed to have excuse me, an artificial knee put in. But I would go twice a year to get shots in the joints, and they put some synovial fluid in there, I guess, and that would help a lot. And then after these patches, I forgot all about it. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I'd forgotten my doctor's name because it had been 7 years, and he hadn't bugged me to have that right knee repaired, and I didn't need it anymore. And also I have no more gum disease. Thank you, patches, because that's not fun. Okay, I think you heard enough icky stuff about me, so let's go on to something more interesting.
Well, good
Sherry,
job, Mom.
Sherry,
Huh?
this is Bruce. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Say, I have got lung problems also, and I've had them for quite a while. I was just wondering what patches you use and where you put them that help your lungs.
I didn't intentionally put them on my lungs, but I always wear 4 patches a day. I change them out, but always X39 at the back of my neck. And you can put them right on top of your lungs. Tracy can advise you.
Yeah, the
Well, that's
Eon and the Carnosine would be
yeah, I do.
two others.
I do use those.
Yeah,
I
and then
use
the
all.
X49 too, which we're going to go in more detail in just a few minutes, and we'll talk about organ regeneration overall with increased blood flow. So
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
good question, Bruce. Thank you, and good job, Mom. It is fun to go to her doctor appointments now because they kind of shake their head at us, and they're quite surprised by some of the things that are going on with her.
Yeah,
So
they are.
that's pretty fun. I do love that. I do indeed. Okay, just 1 minute. We'll get back into where we were here. All righty. So looking at what these are doing, and I don't know if any of you have experience with stem cell injections. If you've ever had a friend, or maybe you yourself have had them, But I have a couple people that have spent a lot of money, and one lady prepaid for 3 injections, each worth $3,000. And in order for them to order in the stem cells, she had to prepay. She had 1 injection done, fainted, cried so hard, hurt so bad, she would never go back. So she paid $6,000 for the other 2 injections and never got them. I've had other people that endured the pain, got them, and they lasted for a few months and then it didn't work. I have heard a couple who said, oh, it helped for a while, but then, 5 years later, so you need to do it again. So I've heard a variety of different responses. But to me, to wear a Band-Aid, have no needles, and have my own stem cells come back to life, even if you paid full retail, $149.95 for 30 of them, it seems like a bargain, especially in our country. These days, we can't get the best stem cells. Those are cord blood stem cells, and they are actually illegal in America. So we're going to Panama or Germany or Greece for the best stem cells if you really do want those painful injections. Or wear a little Band-Aid. Even better, we love to help you get the most product for your money, and we do wholesale packs. So think of Costco. So at wholesale, we love to give them to you at our same cost of $99.95 for 30-day supply. So here we're talking about the cost of a cup of coffee. And the X49 is another one, and I'm going to go into more depth on that when we get into the deep dive. And that's helping so many things in the body: lean muscle mass, metabolism, EMF protection, bone density. That's a really powerful one. Supportive patches. These patches are complementary to X39. Everyone would start with X39, whether you're 2 or 102. But we always pair in the beginning that X39 with Eon, and we call that our happy patch because it is working on the autonomic nervous system. It is calming. It puts you into rest and digest mode. That is a nice little byproduct. The big heavy lift that it does is it elevates a peptide in our liver. We have a lot of that peptide when we're young, but we lose it like stem cells. And that is reducing inflammation. So that's taking swelling out. And I've had some people tell me, gee, I can sit and watch my finger, after it's slammed in the door and I put that patch on there. You can visibly sometimes watch that swelling go away. It works that quickly. Sometimes it may take a little longer, but it's amazing. And the thing about that is inflammation is an eater of stem cells. So if you were to only use X39, it would still do great things, but it's just going to take a lot longer. So we like to accelerate your results by pairing those two up. Now, if you have pain, we like to add Ice Wave. That is a 2-patch system. It's a pain blocker. It works on polarity of the body, a positive and a negative charge. Again, drug-free, non-addictive, no side effects. It is just blocking nerve pain communication. So that is a fantastic one to add if you have pain. My other very favorite is called Alavida. And they used to call it a trophy wife patch because some of those pictures I showed you bringing back collagen, the hyaluronic acid in the hair, those were more vanity things. But really, they figured out now when you bring back that collagen, it's throughout the whole body. It's not just targeted to the visible spots that women want it. We're talking joint lubrication, ligament, tendon health, hormone. Melatonin helps us sleep. It's also working on the frontal lobe of the brain. That's where dementia starts. And it elongates telomeres. I don't know if you know what telomeres are, but they're the end caps on your DNA. And they're directly tied to longevity. So the longer your telomeres, the longer your life. The shorter your telomeres, the shorter your life. So this actually elongates them. One of very few things in this entire world that can do that. It's pretty remarkable. But I mentioned we love to help customize a package for your health needs. Whatever you have going, we can help you. These wholesale packages, think of Costco again. This is a one-time purchase. And core package for $295 is enough for one person. That gets you 3 points. And then we can allocate your points based on what you need. 1 point for the X39 or the X49. Those are pretty remarkable because those are bringing back stem cells. They cost double what those supportive patches cost. If it's a couple, say a husband and a wife or a family, rather than it being $295 a person, we can get the advanced pack for $535. You're getting double the product, but not at double the price. Essentially, they are giving you one supportive pack of your choice free. So that's a pretty great deal. And the nice thing is we have the ability to do upgrades to each of these levels too, and you're only paying the differential. So I love to do that because I love giving people free stuff. So why not do that way? And then if you needed a lot of patches, you had a lot of people you really cared about, or maybe you have a retail outlet or you're a healthcare practitioner, you can get a lot of product one time at the lowest unit cost. And then we always recommend that you get a monthly subscription of at least X39 to keep your repair cells regenerating because 1 month is just not enough. We barely scratch the surface the first month. And depending on what you have going, what your age is, David Schmidt, the inventor, says if somebody would wear these 1 month for every decade they are old, so every 10 years of life, they will regenerate enough stem cells to do deep level repair. And then beyond that, say if you're 60, that'd be 6 months wearing these. And then when you're beyond that, you can go into the age reversal phase. And you saw some people there that actually age reverse, like Dr. Harmon. He is definitely in the age reversal phase, but pretty affordable at $99.95 a month. There's no requirements ever once you make the purchase of that. That just gives you the ability to purchase these at wholesale and to also help people get them at your cost if you'd like to make that gift available to them. So if you're asking, well, gee, what do I do next? Well, we always want to get your questions answered. So we're going to take some questions here in a minute. If you want to type those into chat, I can answer them that way, or we can have you unmute and you can just ask them. But if you would like to purchase, please get back to the person who invited you here tonight and they'll be happy to help you. And if they are uncertain on how to help you, I'm happy to help you. I love to do this. It really is my purpose and passion in life. I've just decided is help people figure out their health puzzles. We recommend again X39 and Eon, those two for at least 90 days. And then we can add additional supportive patches for your specific issues. But we're talking about quality of life here. We're not just helping you live to a much bigger number. This is about mobility, cognition, joy, happiness, pain-free, things getting better, and hopefully weaning off of some of your meds. I was able to wean off of my levothyroxine for my thyroid in 4.5 months. I'd been on that for 15 years. I was told I'd be on that for the rest of my life. I'm so happy to not need that. I had a bunion that just dissolved on its own that needed surgery. It was very painful, and I forgot all about it because we tend to forget. I want to mention too, I did put into chat 3 different forms. There is a health tracker, and I highly encourage you in the beginning, fill that out. That's your baseline tracker. Write down the prescriptions you're on. Write down the problems, like the painful bunion I had, because I never even realized it went away because I didn't have that little form. But in 9 months, my friend called me to ask if these miraculous patches would help her bunion because she wanted to avoid that yucky surgery. And I said, bunion? Oh my goodness. I used to need a surgery and I had a lot of pain. Now that you mention it, I don't have any of that. It's gone. That was pretty exciting. So do look at those in the chat. And then I want to just let you know that Mondays and Tuesday nights, normally I have Cammie. It's her birthday today. She's out celebrating. Joy's on an airplane flying back to Maui. So I'm solo with Eric's help. He's helping me in the background here. But we do our 30-minute intro on Mondays, 6 to 6:30, and we give away free patches to people who bring a guest. And we also on Tuesdays, we do our intro for 30 minutes, followed by that 30-minute deep dive for those who want a little more in-depth information. And our Zoom code is harmonypatchingzoom.com, or there's our code. And then our friend Marcy does a patch party on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And she too does a little giveaway. But we look at this as a gift, and health is really priceless when you can help somebody turn something around, like my mom getting off that sleep apnea machine. I mean, our jaw dropped the day her pulmonologist said, I don't know what you're doing, but your lungs have regenerated. You don't have the COPD, nor do you have sleep apnea. Who gets to hear that? Not many people get to hear that kind of news from a doctor. So that's priceless. And again, like I mentioned, because of FDA regulations, LifeWave can't really advertise this, and they do depend on us to share it with our friends. And they will give you thank you checks if you do share. And so you can get your patches paid And we kind of look at it as a little bit of social responsibility, you know, if you care, share. And this really comes down to harnessing your own light and whatever that definition is for you. But quite honestly, the patches put the light back in the body so the body can regenerate and live its best. So I really appreciate you taking the time to join us for that first segment. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to answer some questions. Does anybody have any